Hey, everybody. If Paul were here, he would get you all riled up and roused up and ready to go. As it is, I'll pretend that I'm down here introducing the speakers, of which I am one. But we are going to talk about what's new in Network Analyzer 2026. Sandor?
Sounds good. All right, so before we start, a little bit about us. I was the lead developer for NNA, and I'm the NNA maintainer currently. And also I've been a software developer at Nagios for about 3 years.
I am the product development manager, and that basically means I lead a team of people who tell me on a daily basis that I'm not a developer. I am a former Nagios sales engineer, and who here has some experience with Network Analyzer? All right, a little bit, cool. So as a sales engineer, if you were a sales engineer, you would like the new one as well, compared to the old one. So I'm very excited to be here and to give this talk. So I'm going to get us started out. We're going to do a little bit of agenda, but Sandor, will you cover the agenda for us?
Sure. So we're going to cover what is NNA, kind of a brief overview for people that haven't used it and kind of what it does. We're going to talk about some of our new integrations. Ethan mentioned these a little bit in his keynote. We'll talk about some improvements we've done on the foundation of NNA, and then we'll talk about the future of NNA. At the end, we'll have the QR code up here that you can scan to get your free perpetual license for NNA as well. If you don't get it here, it's out in the hallway as well.
Cool, thank you. So we're going to start out with what is NNA, but more importantly, why is NNA? So why do we care? What's this about? Well, in the universe of Nagios monitoring, we have Nagios XI, Nagios Core, and largely this is metrics. How much disk space do we have? How much CPU are we using? Pick a metric, XI's got that. And of course, there's other things ancillary related, primarily metrics. Nagios Log Server, we got logs. Logs from your applications, logs from your machines, logs from everything. Logs, logs, logs. It goes in there. It's fantastic. You got to cover it. You have to cover your log monitoring. It is central. Having done both of those things, there's still a gap. We still need data about your network. And primarily, we've done that with flow data. So, we talk about network monitoring, and sometimes when we say network monitoring, we mean all the things on your network. But Network Analyzer is actually the monitoring of your network. So what is network flow data? Well, it goes by a lot of names, and this is where we started with Network Analyzer. We might call it NetFlow, we might call it JFlow, we might call it IPFix, we might call it SFlow. In general, I feel like Eric Lloyd is going to heckle me and correct me if I'm not quite technically correct as I go through here. But in general, it's a digest, right? It is a collection of information. It's not necessarily the data itself. It's like a digest. So what's in there? Well, there's source IP and destination IP, source port, destination port, number of packets, number of flows. What's a flow? And why does it matter? Well, a flow in this flow data, and as we talked about the different types of flow data, there are different proprietary versions of those, but some are sort of open source standards. And basically, we get this information from our network equipment. We get it from switches and routers. It tells us something about the traffic that has crossed those. And a flow is one direction. So if we can imagine in like a conversation over HTTP, the client contacts the server responds, there's an entire conversation. A flow would be all of the things from the client to the server. So it's just one side of that conversation. And then another flow is the response from the server to the client. And so that's a flow, and we keep track of that, and we know these things about it, and there's an algorithm to how do we decide if a packet is part of a flow, and we can keep track of the number of flows and the number of packets that occurred in a flow. But at the end of the day, while it's useful for security, we can do post-incident analysis, performance troubleshooting, capacity planning. Like, it will tell us, well, if there is a server here at Nagios, if there is a piece of equipment that is chatting to an IP address that's associated with North Korea, we have a problem. This should not be occurring. So there's a lot that's good about it, and there's a lot that we can make use of with it. But wait, there's more. So there's a lot more that you can do in talking to your network equipment. There's a lot more network monitoring. There's a lot more monitoring of your network traffic and the characteristics of the devices on your network that we can do when we set out to do it. We can do network mapping. We can do deep packet analysis, right? So instead of just looking at the flows, all right, well, I know that there's this many packets that were associated with this half of the conversation, we can actually do deep packet analysis. We can get the packet, we can take a look at it, we can understand things about it, and then we can use that information to do threat detection. So this starts to put Nagios into a little bit more of a security space, but it's absolutely critical for your entire monitoring estate, for your entire universe of monitoring that you're doing, that you have this aspect of monitoring your network in addition to your metrics and your logs. And Sandor, I'm going to throw it over to you now.
Okay. So I'm going to say pretty high level on what we've done with NNA 2026. So we did a ground up rewrite with it. We did this for many reasons. The primary reason is we wanted to add these extra integrations with Nmap, Suricata, and Wireshark. And if we were going to do this, we wanted to build it on the best tech stack possible to do it. This helps us in many ways. It's going to be more secure because they're up to date with their PHP versions, their Node versions, whatever, and they're getting updates all the time. It also relieves us of any tech debt that there might have been with the old NNA. If you've used it, you've probably noticed there's probably a lot. Another nice thing with the new tech stack is it should increase our development velocity because it's new modern tech. It makes it a lot easier. We have a dedicated front end, back end, and an API that responds between them. So any new developers that come on the team, it should be a lot quicker to pick it up. It also will improve the performance, going from old CodeIgniter to new Laravel. One example of this is asynchronous jobs. Laravel handles a lot of that. Laravel is pretty awesome if you have the time to look into it. It handles a lot of stuff for you.
So that's what I really want to stress here is that Sandor and team have taken the NetFlow functionality that we had in Network Analyzer, that we still have in Network Analyzer, because we're talking about a beta here that you all have access to. And not only did they add essential functionality, they completely rewrote the application.
So some of the major changes we've done, we talked about the integrations. We redesigned the interface. If you guys have used the new XI in Neptune mode or NLS R2, there's going to be a lot of similarities there. So if you use one of our projects, it should be pretty easy to go between and kind of seamless on where to go. We redone what used to be called dashboards to be dashboards similar to NLS and XI now. This is pretty nice because old NNA just had what claimed to be a dashboard was a home page that wasn't really configurable. So a lot of the changes we did made the nomenclature more intuitive for users. So hopefully that helps out. Also, we added reporting on the dashboards. So if you set up a nice dashboard, you can get a nice emailed report to you to view how your network is doing.
Can we see the interface?
We can, but we won't be there quite yet.
All right.
All right, so first we're going to go over the new integrations. First up, we have Nmap. Nmap is network mapping. A lot of people in here have probably used it. It lets you scan networks, figure out what hosts and services on there, so IPs and like protocols or ports that are open. If you go deeper into it, you can also scan to see what firewalls or filters are being used on the firewalls and like OSs. Some of the benefits of this is you can spot vulnerabilities that you may have early, and you can validate your exposure. So if you scan your network and you see a port open that isn't supposed to be open, you know you should probably close that. Also, if you have scheduled scans, you'll be able to kind of compare the two. So if you see a new port open that you didn't intend to, you should probably get to that. And lastly, it allows you for a quick inventory of your network. So here we'll have an overview, kind of high level of what we have in the interface currently. The overview page gives you base metrics on like your current scans, your scheduled scans, and all that. In the top right corner, you can click that to get to your most recent scan. In the most recent scan, you can view all the data that you would see in Nmaps, the host services, IPs. As you can see here, we'll cover this a bit more later on, but we have some integrations or synergies with the integrations each other.
Are you saying the integrations integrate with each other?
I might be. We might be that crazy.
All right.
Yeah, we'll cover that a little bit more later on. Here we have the scans, and we'll get into the scheduled scans and profiles. This is nice because the profiles are essentially a pre-configured scan. So if you have someone that's pretty knowledgeable on Nmap, they can go in, make the scans for your people, and then you can just have anyone that logs in to be able to run the scan that's already pre-configured for them. So as you can see here, you can download the scans. That little I button is pretty across all of our integrations. That's how you'll view the data. And that'll get you back to the page that we just saw in the last one for the overview. For the scheduled scan, like most of our other tables, you can modify them here, enable them, all that. We have a pretty wide variety on how frequent you can set them up to send emails. And then lastly, here's the profile. It gets pretty in-depth, as you can see here, so you can get crazy with it if you want. Otherwise, the base scans are the ones that come with Nmap and ZenMap. And then lastly, for the Nmap section, we have NDIFs.
What are NDIFs?
So it's essentially a comparison. If you've used like Git or version control in any sense, it gives you a comparison of two scans against each other and sees what's different. One of the nice things is our scheduled scans will automatically run an NDIF based off of each other. So if you're consistently running a scan, you can see if anything's changed, and if it has changed, you probably want to know about it, whether it's intentional or not. So you can go fix it. Next up, we have Suricata. So Suricata is all about threat detection. It does intrusion detection and prevention. The way we ship it is through detection. Few reasons about this. It wouldn't really be good if we shipped it in prevention mode because you want to configure your rules for you. You don't want to have rules set up and then it blocks certain network traffic that you don't want it to. So you want to get pretty in-depth into that.
So I think well, two things on that. One, we don't ship it.
Yeah.
And we'll get to that in a minute in terms of what we're able to distribute. But I think that's one of the, so like Suricata is a great tool, and it is a double-edged sword. It can do a lot. It can also completely impair your network if you use it incorrectly. So with great power comes probably meetings later. I've been there. Go ahead.
And that's a great point. I forgot to mention that. None of these integrations, we ship them baseline. So if you don't want to use one of them, we're not going to blow your system with it. We do have like simple installation instructions that you can just copy and paste into your terminal to install them. So you can use what you need for your setup. So some of the benefits for Suricata is early detection for threats and suspicious behavior. Suricata rules get pretty in depth, and they essentially they'll like listen to traffic, and they'll be it's essentially they set up a rule system. So if X happens, then it will do Y. For ours, it's just alerting, so it does logs, and it will have different severity levels. So this is pretty nice because you can get pretty in depth into it. But yeah, and then it helps give you visibility into attacks. It'll tell you like what's wrong, why is this suspicious, and whatnot. So here's the Suricata, what we have in the interface. For the overview for Suricata, this is where you start your Suricata scan in that top left corner.
I love the totally not suspicious traffic block. That's my favorite one.
Yeah. And one of the nice things about that is if you don't want too much like bloat with alerts and that stuff, if you don't want to see non-suspicious traffic, you can remove those rules, so then it won't show up on your system. So.
Although it is kind of nice to know, like, well, what percentage, because like with the tree map, it's kind of cool. When you have not suspicious traffic on there, then you're like, oh, all right, this is about how much of my traffic is totally reasonable and understandable, and I'm not worried about.
Yeah. So we're past it now, but a little bit ago in the alert section, those are the alerts and how many kind of popped up. If you clicked on one, it will bring you over to the data section, and it will have it search for those specific alerts. And then as you saw there, we have the integrations with each other. We also have the ability to run some geolocation with whois and reverse DNS on the IPs. Next up, we have the rules. These are kind of like the heart of Suricata.
Where do you get rules?
Well, you can get them all over the place. We have, there's open source ones that you get, you don't need a secret code for them, but then there's also commercial ones. With those, you're gonna need a secret code that you'll put in for the managed rule sets. With the rule sets, you can enable them to pull in the rules from that rule set here. So by default, we ship it with ET open enabled, but you'll probably want to go in and configure this for however you want your system. In the top right corner there, we have the ability to automatically update your rules. This will reach out and pull the new rule sets down, because the companies often change their rules because security is ever changing, and it'll pull them down periodically. Next up is Wireshark. Wireshark is deep packet analysis. This is nice because it kind of goes hand in hand with flow data. Flow data doesn't actually allow you to look into the packets. Wireshark allows you to kind of go deeper, actually view the packet data. So probably the main thing is it allows you to kind of dive deeper for more deep forensic analysis. So if you have a potential like issue that's happening, it allows you to go deeper, see maybe why this is happening. You can kind of see why there are more information about the traffic. The nice thing with it being similar to flow data is if you're viewing or graphing for our flow data and you see like a weird spike or something that looks out of the normal, if you have some of our historical data with like a ring buffer, and we'll cover this in a little bit, you can kind of look back in that time frame to see what might have caused that. So our Wireshark is pretty similar to Nmap. Very brief summary data in the overview page. Top right corner, you can also click to view the most recent. With the Wireshark, there's another summary page when you click into that scan. There's a lot of nice information here, so if you just need to see very high level, you can view here. Otherwise, you can dive deeper into the data.
I like how colorful it is.
So do I. But yeah, here if you click on any of these, you can dive deep. There's another summary if you just want to see specific like source data and whatnot. Otherwise, we have the rest of the data in the advanced tab. So next up, we have two forms of capture. We have like a live scan that you want to run, and then we have a perpetual scan. For live capture, this is allowing you to set up what interface you want to scan and for a certain duration. Here's also where you can kind of download that scan data, view the last scan and whatnot, and all that. For our capture history tab, this is where our individual live captures are stored, or where you can view them. If you have PCAPs that you ran on different devices, you can import them here and view them. And then if you click the eye, like everything else, it allows you to view the data, like the overview page. And last but not least, we have the ring buffer. So what a ring buffer essentially is, it's kind of like an RRD, but not a database. It's file structure stuff. So you're allowed to, or you pick how many files you want to create and the size of each file. And it runs a Wireshark scan and starts putting the data in those files. It starts off at the first one, and then when that fills, it moves on to the next and so on. When it fills all of them, it circles back around and rewrites over the first one. The nice thing about this is Wireshark can get a lot of data. So this allows you to always be running Wireshark and kind of having some historical data, and this allows us to have more of the integrations with each other. So if you have some like Suricata alerts pop up, you can view the ring buffer for that time period to kind of see what might have caused this and dive into the packets more.
And it allows you to also manage how much storage space am I dedicating to package capture, and know that you're not going to exceed that, because you start getting into network data and collecting packets and hanging on to them. There's a lot of packets.
Yeah. So next we have the integrations with the synergies. I'm just going to show the Suricata page for this. But for like Suricata rules, if you have something pop up and you want to do an Nmap scan on the specific IP or source or destination, you can do that. We also have the ability to search the Wireshark ring buffer. This is really nice because it takes a lot of the manual hassle to kind of cross-reference them away, and just makes it like 1 or 2 click process. So next up we have the foundational improvements. First is alerts. We now have alerting on Suricata and Nmap. Our alerts are like our XI emailing if something happens. You configure them to have however many warnings or whatnot, and then it will email you. So the Suricata one is pretty nice. So if you have a specific or rule set with an ID that you have to fix immediately, it allows you to get the email whenever that happens.
So you can configure your notification, how quickly you get notified of the issue based on the severity.
Yep.
Nice.
Next up we have search. If you've used Neptune at all, this is pretty similar to that. One big thing with this is because we're adding these different integrations, you might have a lot of Nmap scans or Wireshark scans. This allows you to kind of navigate there quickly. If you have someone new to NNA, this allows you to kind of traverse where you want to go without actually poking around in the system too much. So should be nice for newer users. Next up, we have our redesigned interface. As you can see on the left here, this is this is our LDAP pages. On the left, this is old NNA, and on the right, this is new NNA. And we'll have workshops
immediately following, actually.
Right after this, you can poke around. We should also have a station out there somewhere with NNA if you want to view more of the interface.
I expect a full transfer, one-to-one transfer from this session into the hands-on.
I don't think there's enough seats. Exactly. We have theming now, so don't worry. For those that like light theme, everything we've been showing has been dark theme because that's my preferred, but we have to add light theme as well. I think half of the population uses one or the other, so it's pretty even split. Those are the two themes we have currently. We'll add colorblind eventually in the future, but we don't have it currently. Next up is dashboards. So this is an image of the old dashboards. Not really anything to configure here.
You're not really selling the current one, Sandor.
It's because we have this nice new one.
Well, I suppose.
So.
All right.
So if you've used NLS R2 or Neptune in some ways, this is probably similar. Across the top, we have all our options to kind of to view different dashboards, to schedule the reports, to view different time frames for the data and whatnot. If you're an admin user, you can view other people's dashboards as well. This is nice because if someone makes a really nice dashboard, you don't have to hound them to make a scheduled report for you. You can kind of go in there if you're an admin user, look at their dashboard and make a report off of it. And then for the actually adding of the dashlets, NNA is a bit different compared to our other products. So we don't have like a preset of dashlets that you pick this dashlet, it does this one thing. Now we allow you to configure your dashlet however you want, so you can get as specific in like the exact data you want. It's nice because we preview what your dashlet will look like up here, so you can get it exactly how you want before creating it. And then you can see all the different type of charts there. We plan on adding more in the future. So next up is reporting. What are reports? It's just a PDF snapshot of, sorry for the white flashbang. It's a PDF snapshot of one of your dashboards. You can also do JPEG if you want. This is nice for if you don't want to log in all the time, you just want to see how your network is doing. If you make a really good dashboard that represents the data you want to see, you don't have to log in all the time to see that. Also, if some executive needs to see this data, pretty seamless. You don't have to manually create the snapshot all the time and send it to them. So we have two ways of making reports. You can do one directly from the dashboard, or we have a report section, and this is where you'll manage your reports. So if you need to modify any of your reports, enable or disable them, this is where you'll do it. And lastly, we have the future of NNA. So some of the things that we want to do is expand more on the integrations. We've been developing for about 5 to 6 months on this. So any improvements we can to make to them, we still have a lot of plans to do it. We're also planning on integrating NNA more with log server and XI. Do you want to talk about some of the things that can help with?
Yeah, absolutely. So I also kind of want to recap like really where we're at with this new project. It's in beta, and it's available today specifically to you all as conference attendees. You're welcome to share it if you'd like, and you get a free perpetual license. It still does NetFlow data, and that's baked in. So even if you only wanted NetFlow, you still want this. Additionally to NetFlow, we have 3 new integrations: Nmap for network mapping, Suricata for threat detection, and Wireshark for deep packet analysis. We don't ship those 3. We ship a Nagios integration for all 3 of those. So these are best-in-class open source tools, and we make them play nice not only together, but also with other Nagios products. So this is where Sandor started with this, was we're in our integration with Nagios XI and also with log server. A lot of this data packets look a lot like log data when you get right down to it. So log server is a natural place to store larger and larger amounts of data. So we're going to have that integration there as well as dashboarding integrations, notifications through XI, alerting in XI, dashboards. So bring it all together in the seamless universe experience of Nagios.
And to kind of go along with that, with the amount of data that these integrations may store, like even flow data is a lot if you have a large network. So like any small improvements we can do to for the performance will go a long way, just due to the nature of how this data is. Like if you ever run Wireshark for not that long, you'll see how large the file gets. So yeah.
And we have one customer in particular that we talk about, and they're collecting from, Keith, is it about 6,000 devices for their NetFlow? I think it's very close to 6,000 though. So it is, we're continuing to look at, so for one, it's powerful, but for two, especially as we add these capabilities, and you add as many devices as you have on your network, performance is critical, and we'll continue to work on that.
Yeah. And some of the other things, we can talk about more improvements we want to do on the base functionality, whether it's adding more dashlets for the different integrations or for flow data, more support for different emailing types. But for me, more importantly, we want to get feedback from you guys, because we might not know exactly what this our product would be the best use case for you guys. So any feedback would go a long way.
Absolutely. In my experience, betas are hard because not everyone does. Eric has, and I appreciate your help on betas. You helped on long server for sure, and I appreciate that. It would be a tremendous kindness for all of you who are even tangentially interested in network flow data, packet capture, all of that good stuff, if you would make full use of your free license, set this up, run some scans, tell us how you like it, tell us what we missed. We have a whole list of things. We had a mandate to get a beta out by conference, and by golly, we do. And here it is. And we've got a little ways to go before that is ready for a full general release that we feel comfortable asking for money for. But we're real close, and we would love to have your feedback on that. So after that, here's your QR code. Scan the QR code. You will be taken to a page, and you'll fill in some information. When you fill in that information, Michelle, you can find her here. If you don't get your email, find Michelle. She's the one. She will send you your information that's got where you can download, and it's got your key in there as well. And with that, I'll open it up to questions. Brian.
Nmap and what else you guys are providing to get those right?
We provide scripts that you can just cut and paste or copy and paste right to the terminal, and it will install it for you. Yeah. But we can't ship them.
Yeah.
If you're wondering why they aren't shipped by default, these are TPL-free licensed products. So if you include that in your bulk in a product, a commercial product has to be GPL-free, which is why we don't ship it natively. So it's the workaround that we and many other companies do. We just provide, here's how you do instructions, here's how you install. But once you do, then the integration is done.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Take an extra 5 minutes.
You mentioned admin profile. How are you structuring your RBAC controls inside of NNA 2026? Are all users going to be able to create queries, or flow checks, or time sequences? I mean, what about impact of, let's say, improperly crafted queries and checks on your flows? How are you going to control that?
So right now, and this can probably be expanded on if this isn't the way that people want it, because of like Nmap can be pretty dangerous to allow anyone to run stuff on. So right now, most of the like creation and running of things is admin specific. And users can view the data from that like admins have ran. However, most of the data that you can see is admin specific. For flow data, I believe you can run queries as a user as well, but that's not going to be like any of the collection of the data and whatnot. If they put in too broad of a query that does like too much data and it causes like a PHP memory limit hit, it will just fail on that page. It's not going to break the whole app though.
So that one safeguard against in specifics with flow data is the interface itself. So if you run a query that just times out and takes too long, we just shut it down and report it to you. Yeah, and If you have, anyone has input or an ideal structure that they'd be looking to see based on the type of data we're dealing with and the nature of the equipment and what we're doing, I would love to hear more on that.
Yeah,
Eric, go ahead.
One thing I want to mention, that this is actually, I didn't think about it until Sam was mentioning it. But so we'll have to think about this, and we'd love your feedback on this. So when it comes to, say, running a query, so to speak, against Wireshark data, we might want to have user almost ACL lists where it's like you can't see everything because Wireshark is going to pick up everything, and you might not want all users to be able to view all IP address data or MAC address data. We'll have to think about that. We'd love feedback from people on that.
That's a good
And
point.
it will be, we're still going through the beta process, so it will be iterative. We're here now, and we have it to the point where it works, and you can get some cool charts, and we're going to continue to develop with these things in mind, and then we're going to put out a version. And it's not going to be the final version, and we will continue to work on it, and that's the mission. Eric Lloyd.
I got the mic for you. Do you really need one, though? You're pretty vocal.
So just kind of to add to what Sam and Ethan were saying, I was kind of glazing over because I was imagining Aaron as my hype man for my talk tomorrow. Can I hire you? But
Yeah, absolutely.
So-
I'll do it for nothing.
oh, sweet. So I saw multiple users. Does that mean we have multi-tenant capabilities? Kind of like Ethan's saying, we can kind of limit ACL, say user X only has access to this IP range, user Y to this IP range, or anything like that?
Not quite yet. It's similar to our users for XI and stuff. For NNA, it's very basic as it is. Similar to old NNA, where non-admin users essentially are like a view only or a read only.
Is that under consideration? I mean,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, without question. I mean, it's a much more powerful tool
Yeah,
now,
yeah.
and so the dangers, not even just in terms of security, but what can happen to your environment if the tool isn't used correctly, is strong. So, and we absolutely would be happy for your input on how you would like that structured, or Sam, how you see this as best structured. We'll come up with stuff, and you'll tell us what you think of it. That much is for sure.
Thanks.
Any other questions?
Well, hey, everybody, I want to thank Sandor and his team for all of the work that they did.